Hello and welcome back to my Let's Challenge of Ratchet and Clank. In the last episode, we completed Oltanis orbit here, the Gemlik moon base, and then we defeated Qwark in the big battle around this base and sent him down, spiraling down to the planet, all the way down wherever the planet is relative to us. But anyway, now big news. So essentially, what happened was in between, I recorded several episodes after this. And in doing so, I unfortunately failed to, well, the saving of those recordings failed, which meant that I got further in the game without recording it, and then unfortunately, due to my lack of multiple saves, because I still haven't worked out that that's obviously something I should be doing right about now. Speaking of which, I definitely should say, but essentially because I wasn't doing multiple saves, so as you can see, this was my previous one I got to Qwark, and the second bit of Qwark actually, and unfortunately didn't have the recordings for those bits, which was really disappointing. Meant that we essentially lost loads and loads of recording, and so I essentially have replayed the game all the way up until here, and as you can see, taken me 4 hours compared to the 13 hours beforehand. So that's actually, I think that's pretty impressive. But and somehow I've got 4,000 more bolts. So that's why various things are there. I'm probably going to buy some ammo with those extra bolts just to sort of even things out. Now, the reason that we're still here on Oltanis base is because I wanted to show you this. You can wall jump here. Apologies. But yeah, you can wall jump between those two pillars to get to this button, and this allows you to get gold weapons. So gold weapons are the advanced stages of the weapons that you currently have, being, in this case, Bomb Glove, Pyrosator, Blaster, Glove of Doom and Suck Cannon, and the way you buy them is you spend a set amount of bolts with also a certain number of gold bolts, which is a good reason why we have gold bolts. Now, if I was to buy one of these gold weapons, in order to do so, the way that would work in terms of my lives is that it wouldn't give me another life. It would just reset over the one I'd currently have. So I wouldn't be able to, for example, buy the gold Pyrosator. Or at least I could buy it, but I wouldn't be able to use it, because I can't use the regular Pyrosator, obviously, due to my my current death situation and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and also my quick select needs to be completely reconfigured, so we still have access to that. We still have access to Suck Cannon. We still have access to the Devastator, and we probably want Visibomb next. So yeah, so I'm going to need to buy a fair few, quite a lot of ammo. But yeah, no, that's important because that is essentially the only way you can get access to gold weapons before the end of before starting a new game. So obviously, when you start challenge mode, i.e., when you restart the game, having defeated the final boss, you would be able to keep all your bolts and your weapons and stuff. But what you can do, obviously, that's there to allow you to grind to get the number of bolts you need for example, the Rhino. As we're just going to watch this cutscene here.
Clank? Clank? Come on, wake up! Captain Qwark? No, goofball. It's me, Ratchet. What happened? You got toasted by lightning. This place was having one heck of a storm. You won't be safe out there. I'll be right back.
Another thing I very quickly need to do is put on the subtitles. But yeah, no, essentially, yeah, like I said, when you start a new game, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to go into Novalis, so the very first planet we ventured to after Velden, and there you'll be able to enter a secret room where there are all of the gold weapons. So there are 10 in the game, 10 of the 15 weapons. Obviously, we only saw 5 there. You can only get 5 before the end of the game. And then there's another 10 elsewhere. So now, like I said, I need to buy a load of ammo. And yeah, this is just a good way for me to... Okay, good. Use up all of this. Even on weapons that I obviously won't use.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
So yeah, so the next weapon and the last weapon we'll probably be able to buy is the Tesla Claw. Because obviously we won't be able to buy the Rhino in this save file because I won't be trying to get the 150. There are glitches the way you can get 150,000 bolts relatively fast, but we won't be trying any of them. Just because the Rhino makes the game ridiculously simple, and yeah, that wouldn't make it a challenge now, would it? So, Oltanis. Now, as you saw from the beginning cutscene here on Oltanis, you don't have Clank for the entirety of this mission, and that is what makes this mission particularly irksome, in my opinion. You lose all the extra control that Clank gives you, in terms of just being able to control your jumps a lot better, and the platforming becomes a hell of a lot easier, and all this sort of stuff, and you lose all of that without Clank. So, we're going to need to be careful. I have said that, yeah, this is, in my opinion, probably one of the hardest planets in the game, certainly. Obviously, one of the isn't really, but it's near enough the hardest planet in the game. So we've got 3 routes to take, and I should probably... Yeah, so we've got 3 routes to take around the main area of this game. The first one is this one, which is a mixture of sort of ice pathways and magna boot paths, like this. And, well, it's obviously very easy to fall off the magnet boots. Or at least I find it very easy to fall off the magnet boots. And the ice is even easier to fall off. We also have this wind, so you can see, hopefully you can see the sort of the gusts of wind that blow across. Essentially, they would blow me directly off whatever platform you're standing on, especially if it's ice. But if you're on the magnet boots, then the magnetization of your shoes, thankfully, will prevent you from being knocked off course. So we have to go around the long way here. We have to head along here, and then we can head around, and then once more. So yeah, like I say, a lot of ice, little bits. So we got like to make these sort of jumps. There we go, nice. So you can see there's more wind there, so if we were to step, or at least there is the wind. If we were to step off this platform, then we'd have some trouble. But anyway, so, now obviously these you can dodge, you could just try and walk by them. I much prefer destroying them, just because removes any element of you making a mistake. And I believe their explosion most likely would knock you off, so it's just... all about self-preservation. You can see a gold bolt over there. There are 2 gold bolts down this path. One down the main path, so essentially the story path. There's one of them. There's one of the gold bolts, I mean. And the final one is... the final one is only available once you actually destroy all of the... once you complete all of the 3 other paths. So now we're going to see the main enemies of this area, which are these guys. And they are very, very annoying, I must say. So they normally pop up in groups of, in larger groups than just the one that you appear there. They pop out of those little things in the ground, and they shoot their sort of their lasers across the. They sweep their lasers across the floor once you give them time to sort of set up. So. Obviously, the key thing is to do it fast enough. So anyway, we get our first gold bolt just there, and we're about to get our second one very soon afterwards. That's gotten just here. So you're obviously meant to jump up here. You've got the wind behind you, so you get pushed along this icy path. But if we continue to hang along and just pop along here, we can reach our second gold bolt of Oltanis. Okay, so now, how do I get back? I don't want to try and jump it. Ah, what? Ugh. Wait. Okay, well this is obviously a glitch. Well, yeah, so that was annoying, but there we go. I thought there would be a way of just dropping down, but evidently not. So yeah, that's unfortunate. We obviously lose another life. We lose our first life here on Oltanis, and that is the drone device that we lose access to, which, to be honest, isn't much of a loss. I rarely use the drone device in my normal playthroughs, let alone something like this, so not too worried about that, but there we go. So, let's just concentrate on this section, don't make any silly mistakes, and then we should be fine. Okay, that's a good start. Nice. Okay, is that ship going to reappear? It is. Bye. So because we now know that there's only one of these guys, I'm not too scared. Ah, really? Typical. I say that and then obviously get hit. But I was going to say I wasn't too scared of going walking towards it. Anyway, okay, so now we can climb up here. We know that all the gold bolts are gotten, so now this section. So we just got to make these jumps and then pop over, and then it's a rather familiar face who's going to offer us something else.
Where? Come on, Qwark. I know it's you.
The name's Steve. Pleased to meet you.
Look, Steve. I need to know where Drek is before it's too late.
Did you say too late? Sir, it is never too late to acquire the latest in the long line of quality products from Gadgetron. I have for you, today only, the Gadgetron PDA.
Public display of affection?
No, personal delivery assistant. This device allows you to purchase ammunition wherever and whenever you want it.
Yeah? How do I know it works?
You can always trust Gadgetron quality, for my name's not Steve.
So, getting some unfortunate little graphical glitches there in some of these cutscenes. But anyway, yeah, so the PDA, like Qwark says, essentially allows you to buy ammunition whenever you want it. That in itself it can be useful, but it's not the most useful thing, because they always have, I believe they call it, like, shipping charges, for example, or something along those lines, which essentially means all the ammo that you get from the PDA is is far more expensive than it would be if you were just getting it from a normal vendor. So, and that extra money does sort of add up in the end. So anyway, we're going to come back down here, and so now we are going to do. Which one do we want to do? Let's do the main one next. This is the main path, the path the game wants you to follow. And the path that gives you the only info box on this planet which allows you to obviously continue on with the story. So. Ow. Not doing this well, come on. I'm probably going to save money up for Ultra Nanotech. I think that's probably a far better purchase, because obviously Ultra Nanotech gets you up to 8 hit points essentially, rather than me languishing down here on 5. Okay, so is there a? There isn't. Okay. Nice, beautiful. This level does worry me. I do feel like I'm going to die multiple times. But anyway, okay, so we can shuffle through here. Pick all those up. Okay, so we've got another bomb dropping rock. Oh, really? That was my mistake. I detonated that way too early. There we go, nice. Okay. So, I have one shot with that, so let's get rid of it. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Sometimes the issue I have with this game is that I'm not quite aggressive enough. Like there, obviously, I ran at the enemies, made sure that all of my shots were hitting. Sometimes I can be far too passive and sort of stand back and hope that my long-range weapons will take them out from range, but that's not always something you want to rely on. Boom! So, another Visibomb. The Visibombs are really, really good, frankly, just with the amount of damage they do relative to the Devastator. So, it's not there. Where's the next? Oh, there it is. It's over there. Oh, great. Oh, beautiful timing jump. Lovely, okay. Lucky, probably, but nonetheless, worked. So, suck cannon. Come on. I know you want to join me. I know you want to join me in my weapon. Come on, there we go. So, if we get our swing shot. So, we get a nice gold bolt. That is our third of this planet, which is really good. Let us... There is literally no point for us not. Sonic Summoner. Come on. Come on, friend. Now, I'm pretty sure that we're going to get another bomb ship if we're not careful. And it takes 3 hits. Wow. Okay. Okay, so now all we've got, I think, is we've just got to get to the grind rail. That just involves getting over this. Nice work. So you get to here, and now we have a grind rail. Oops, damn you. Well, that's annoying, but anyway, okay, so the grind rail. So we're going to get some of the lightning shooting robots. They follow us behind the grind rail. All we've got to do is essentially just dodge them, dodge their shots. And then you just got to make sure that you're not on a path that leads to electrocution. Yeah, I should have swapped over much faster there, but anyway. We survive! Oltanis, main route. Awesome.
Hey, welcome to my shop. What can I get you? I'm looking for Drek. Sure, yeah, I got lots of stuff on sale. After the bombing, no one is around to buy anything. Are you okay? Low prices? Oh, you bet. I can make you a deal on a bus a mangled carbonizer, or I got this info bot. Guess that bombing was pretty loud, huh? Oh, you're one shrewd negotiator. I'll tell you what. I can let this info bot go for half price.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's about it for me. Thanks. Quit your complaining. I gave you a great deal. Jeez. A friend
to go out at night? Afraid to go out during the day? Just plain afraid? Then you need this! The Ultra Mech Unlimited. This mech is the ultimate in personal defense system. Launch Industries is now taking pre-orders. Get yours before it's too late.
Now that's what I call serious firepower. Clank's gonna be jealous if he sees this.
So there we go. We get the Infobot for planet Qwark. And now we can just... And now all we've got is one more route on this planet, but the nice thing about that route is that route will hopefully, well, it should, if we complete it, it will give us an extra life, which is not most, certainly doesn't happen with most of the routes on this planet. Don't fall off the taxi. So, the final area in this on this planet is essentially a mixture of these turrets that appear and sort of do sweeping runs, and these searchlight robots who essentially, if you go into their spotlight, the turrets trigger. Ow! I was not paying attention. Okay, so now... Ooh, nearly. That guy nearly got me, but there we go. Okay, cool. Ooh, that was almost terrible timing. Lovely, lovely, okay. So just got to be a little careful here. Ideally, I'd like to blow up all of the searchlight robots because obviously they give you, they do give you money. But in doing so, for example here, you can see each of those little black mounds on the floor will be a turret that will appear. And ideally, obviously, we don't really want to trigger all of that, but we can if we want to. Because once you destroy the turrets, there's really no risk. And then these spinning robots don't really do anything. And they're just bolts for the picking. So, anyway. The only reason I'm using the Visibomb is I'm pretty sure it's a 2-hit KO min on with the Devastator. Go on, yes, nice. Okay, so we can actually kill. Lovely, good. Sometimes the suck cannon has great range, and sometimes it just doesn't. I don't know why, but anyway. So the other thing that's common around here on Oltanis is you end up with these platforms with swing shot sort of programmed onto them, and essentially they can be rather deadly if you're not careful. What you got to do is you've obviously just got to time it such that, and you've just got to make sure you hold down the fire button on the swing shot, because occasionally, if you don't, you'll just plummet, and that's no fun. Okay, so that's that. So, in this next little area, essentially, obviously the turrets are located in the middle, but there's also 4 of them located around the outside. So it really depends on how risky you're willing to be. because this is a challenge, I want to get more health. Just, I'm pretty sure there's not too much risk on the next section, but better be safe than anything else is the way I'm thinking about it. Yes, I want the blast. Okay, fine, I want to devastate you then. Goodbye. Don't want that shooting me as I make a jump and tragically fall. Anyway. So. Thank you. Drek. Seems like we only have a very short amount of time with which we can actually catch that platform. Thank you. Okay. Oh, really? What? No. I'm pretty sure these platforms, you can just walk off them, so I've got to just be careful. Ah, there we go, cool. So now... Oh, shoot! I have no idea why I fell there, I will be honest. I have no idea why I fell there, but that's really screwed me over. So I no longer have access to the decoy glove. And yeah, no, that's completely screwed me over. Really? Come on. That was just me being lazy. Come on. Just want to make sure. Good. Nice, okay. Apologies for that. Okay, so. Dear, dear, dear. I didn't want to die there. That's really annoying. So that gives me, what, 2 deaths for Oltanis. It's the first time I've died twice on the same level, actually. Same planet, I should say. It's not really levels. Anyway, you. Thank you. Let's not mess this up. Good, good, good. Okay. Nice. No, really? Okay, fine. Okay, good. I mean, this is definitely the safest way of doing it. I mean, the only other way of doing it is to literally fling yourself off these, you know, like to try and jump off these platforms and try and land, hope you land safe. Okay, there we go. So now, Devastator. Lovely. Okay, that's that. So now all I need to do is make this jump. Okay, good. Is that it? Oh, thank God. Well, we're going to get that life that we just lost straight back, thankfully, because we pick up the final weapon that's actually available in this game. In terms of certainly the final weapon that you can just find lying around. So, as you see, completing all of the missions triggers that to occur. We can now pop down and hit the switch. The switch triggers loads and loads of swing shots to appear throughout the city, and it's our job to try and traverse them in order to get to the final gold bolt in this area. This is also the only way you can get the single skill point that's located on this planet. And the skill point is essentially gotten for breaking all of the street lights, the street lamps. We don't want to head that way, certainly. I believe, yeah. So now, the way this area works is you end up with these guys who appear with little green swing shots on their sides, and you essentially try and attach to them and pray that you hold on. So yeah, so essentially these street lamps, you can essentially shoot them out with your blaster, like that. And if you destroy every single one of them, then you get a skill point. Now that is actually, in this planet, rather annoying, because there are loads of them, and in order to do so, you must actually have access, obviously, to every single area in this level, which means you need to be able to get here, essentially. There we go, nice, okay. Yeah, we don't want to try that, okay. So there's the gold bolt, you can just see it just in the distance. We just need to make these. There we go, nice. Oh, thank God we didn't die. That is really easy to die on that little section there. Really, really simple just to, just for your swing shot, just not to grab onto it and just to mess it up. But yeah, so essentially you'd need to shoot out every single one of these lampposts, and then you'd need to go through all of the various routes without dying and break all of those street lamps, and that is just makes it one of the more tiresome of the skill points in this game, it must be said. But anyway, that is Oltanis done. We have all 4 gold bolts, we have all 3 paths completed, and now, so I believe we have a little bit of time, yeah. So we'll do something very quick, and what we will do is we will get the final gold bolt on Hoven, which I missed. And then missed again, specifically, on redoing the whole game. But anyway.
Well, I guess Qwark didn't eliminate them.
How observant of you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, if you were only so diligent in doing your own job.
Yes, sir.
Since our new planet is nearly finished, we need a plan to remove the world that is occupying our selected orbit. This time must be absolutely foolproof. Time is wasting.
So obviously, while Supreme Executive Chairman Drek is planning his making up his plot to destroy an entire planet, we're just going to, you know, pop around a different planet. You know, there's no hurry at all. Let's just grab the Walloper, because the Walloper is really fun to use and is actually a very good weapon against these enemies, against all of the enemies on this planet in particular. So essentially, the mistake that I made was we missed a. Oh, I didn't see you there. I thought you were dead. So yeah, so we missed the gold bolt inside the hydro displacer section of this planet, which is located up here. So if you drop down into this section, essentially what you got to do is we got to get out our Hydro Displacer. We're going to do all of this sort of, you know, this minor puzzle all over again. Where is the Insta Faucet? Or the Insta Drain, I should say. So, the gold bolt itself is located just up here. So if I was to look up, there it is. But obviously in order to access it, we actually need to, in order to access it, we need to raise the water level essentially all the way up to the top, and then we can just swim down under and collect it from there. Really? There we go. So yeah, so now we just swim under here. Obviously, you could do this without the Hydro Pack. It's a very easy gold bolt in with respect to everything else. So pick that up, and now we can break these. And now what we can actually do is we can actually just exit the way we came, which is really nice, because we've got these very convenient little handholds, which allow you to climb back out, and then we just need to return to our ship. So in the next episode we are going to start off Qwark. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, there are 2 missions on Qwark, and we can't do one of them yet. We actually have to come back to it. But we'll certainly be able to do the first one of Qwark, and then probably, because that one's actually relatively short, we'll be able to then go to the next planet as well. And then, yeah, and no, it'll be good. I get to redo all of these sections. Obviously, like I say, apologies for the mishaps with recording. That means that, you know, I have done these levels before, but hopefully, you know, I'm still dying on them, as you saw on Oltanis, so it shouldn't really be having too much of an effect on how well I compete in this challenge. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next.